Mr. Chairman, good morning. The Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City proceedings will begin. The board is now in session. If you're in possession of any type of electronic device, please place said device on the off or silent mode during proceedings. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, preliminary matter on the AM docket, case number 1, John Barnhart, Lansdowne Liquors, Inc., 3360 Annapolis Road. That case has been postponed. All interested parties will be notified as to the new date and time. Number 2 on the AM docket, Anthon Pole, Medusa Restaurant and Lounge, LLC, trading as Medusa, 401 West Baltimore Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. An application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment. Please come forward.
Counsel?
Yes, good morning. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Pohl.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Pohl, sir?
Morning. Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning,
This
Mr.
is-
Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners.
Application to transfer ownership with live entertainment.
That's correct. It is 401 West Baltimore Street. It's the old bank location next to the Hippodrome Theater. Mr. Pohl has been alcohol management certified, as is the manager of the establishment, Dennis Rosario. I have a menu for you to take a look at.
I'm getting flashbacks of practicing for my bar mitzvah. It's like, it's like a.
Well, it's large enough for someone my age to read, I will say that.
It's
You
oversized.
see it in the dark?
Probably. Medusa, they've got, as I say, they want to, it's called Medusa, the name of their lounge. They have a kitchen within the establishment that they intend to serve Peruvian-style chicken. It's currently or was a deli that was attached to the last operation. So they have a big kitchen. That kitchen will be open at least until 10:30 each night. Is that right?
No, 8 o'clock.
Until 8 o'clock, okay. And the nature of the building, it is a venue that attracts dancing and music and DJing. And Mr. Pohl has experience both as a DJ and as someone who's worked in the bar business. We have a letter of support that I believe came in the file from Councilman Eric Costello. Additionally, Kristen Mitchell of the Market Center Merchants Association sent a letter that I have an original of, should it have had it not been received by the board at this time.
I don't think I have that. I have one from a Steve Samuelson, president of the Market Center Merchants
Have you?
Association.
Oh, and I'm so sorry, it is for Mr. Samuelson. Miss Kristen Mitchell is here today, present, if there's any questions.
Well, is your client in agreement with the restrictions that they have suggested?
Yes, he is. And there's sometimes there's been debate over what does no third-party promoters mean. And I know when I was on the board with Commissioner Jones, we would say third-party promoters. And what we mean is that no one will abdicate management of this club to a third party, even for a single night. And these are the kind of things that have happened in the past. The nomenclature has been third-party promoters.
Yeah, the prior licensee had a lot of difficulties.
Right, exactly. And so I've always believed that if you ever turn the keys over to a bar by somebody who's not vetted by the liquor board, even for one night, it's asking for trouble. And so they've agreed that they will not turn over the responsibility to any third-party operator for any period of time. And that they also will not offer valet parking, which had caused problems in the past.
This indicates you're going to have 5 to 6 security guards for the club?
Yes.
You're going to use a private security organization, or are you
Yes,
hiring?
we have a private security company.
Okay. And this is you'll have happy hours, dinner, music, dancing, and Sunday brunch?
Yes.
So that's the live entertainment. There'll be a band or something there for the dancing?
Usually no bands.
DJ? Is
Yes,
that what
yeah,
you're talking
DJ, yes.
What, your clientele is typically young, middle, older?
We're hoping for a bit of older, 30, 35s,
You think that's
25
old?
over. Better kids these days.
We are done.
To wit, Sunday, you do your ballroom dance lessons.
Mondays.
Mondays are ballroom dance lesson night.
you
And
go, Harvey.
Here is a photograph of the attendees on that night, and they indeed are, reflect the mix of ages here in this city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And you're near Paca or Utah?
Utah and Baltimore Street.
Okay. All right, so do the commissioners have questions for Mr. Paul?
Yes, one of these photo pictures, this picture look like Mr. Steve Fogelman.
No, it's not me. I thought it was Councilman Costello at first, but
When you spoke of the 5 to 6 security guards, do you mean per night, or you mean at any given time you can use 1 or 2 of the 5 to 6 security guards?
Normally, if it's like our dinner night or a slower night, probably not 5 to 6. But if it's peak hour, 5 to 6 security guards.
Okay. Anything further?
And they do have a copy, I have a copy of the operations plan, which indicates that they'll make sure that cell phone numbers are available between the manager and other merchants, that they'll make sure that they walk a 100-foot radius to make sure there's no litter or debris or any other problems. I'd be happy to offer that into evidence.
Yeah, I mean, the community's not raising those issues. When I first looked at this, I was concerned because there's such a long history of problems, and I don't know if that's due to poor management or whether it's just in an area that is difficult to manage. But
Well, maybe both, but I think what Mr. Pohl brings to the table is that he understands the sensitive nature of this location, that the Hippodrome, and even down the street as we go to Camden Yards, it's literally the gateway to the city, and we want to provide an environment that makes everybody want to come back to Baltimore. So he's going to make sure that the exterior of the premises is well policed, and as is the interior, so there'll be no problems.
Mr. Greenfield, do you have a
I
question?
just have a comment. Assuming we approve, just stay engaged with the community because of the long history of your potential predecessor.
And we're working on that, doing it now.
And just consistently stay engaged because it's critical to the community. So
Yeah.
that's all.
Thank you.
Okay, anything further? All right, on the basis then of the materials contained in the application, the proffer from council and testimony we received today, as well as the exhibits received, including the letter of support from Councilman Costello and the letter from the Market Center Merchants Association, which specifies 2 restrictions that they would like to have imposed on the license, and to the extent that those are enforceable, and you've agreed to them.
Yes, sir.
I would vote to approve the transfer.
On the information stated already by the judge, I concur.
I concur as well. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. And I do want to thank Downtown Partnership and Market Street Merchants for meeting with us on multiple occasions. Grateful for their support. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You want your menus back?
I'll take it. Thank you.
Those things look expensive.
I call exhibits for the record. Applicant Exhibit 1, menu. Applicant Exhibit 2, photos. Board Exhibit 1, letter of support dated January 22nd, 2018, from Councilman Costello. Board Exhibit 2, letter dated January 24th, 2018, from Market Center Merchant Association. Thank you.
Ronald Singer and Kim Thompson, ERS Inc., trading as Steampunk Alley, 870 Park Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Here for an application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment. Please come forward.
Counsel?
Thank you. Stephen W. Fogelman. On behalf of the applicant, Ronald Singer, who's present. Mr. Thompson is out of town, was not able to be here. He's the city resident only and has previously been vetted by this board.
Good morning. Mr. Singer, will you raise your right hand, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
So I have a preliminary question for you, sir. The name Ronald Singer and the name Kim Thompson showed up on my law firm conflict sheet. Have you ever been represented by Whiteford, Taylor, and Preston?
No, I have not.
Do you have any objection to me participating in this
whatsoever.
proceeding?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's proceed.
Pursuant to a divorce settlement between Ronald Singer and Elise Singer, Mr. Singer received his wife's shares in ERS Incorporated, the corporation that owns Steampunk Alley, and furthermore, he is required to remove his wife's name from the liquor license pursuant to that settlement and judgment of divorce.
What time did the court give him?
They till the end of March, basically. See, he's into February, but again, this contempt proceedings aren't going to begin as long as we're moving the wheels of justice to affect that end. So Mr. Singer indeed has transferred through corporate paperwork, has transferred the shares from Ms. Singer to Mr. Singer, so that he's now 99% owner as the application.
So that's
correctly
essentially
states.
what's going on here. There's no other change?
All the change, and for the same city resident, and it's simply going from wife to husband pursuant to the divorce.
And did you have a violation last year?
Yes, we did.
Yes, I believe it was a tax hold violation. It was a,
No. During the divorce, I did not update my trader's license.
that's what, I'm
until-
sorry, yeah.
Yes.
It was-
That's what it
and we
was.
updated the trader's license.
Okay.
It was a paperwork violation rather than a safety violation.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
None.
I don't know.
Okay. Anything further?
No, and thank you very much.
On the basis of the materials contained in the application, the proffers from counsel, testimony received, I would vote to approve the transfer.
I concur.
I vote to approve as well.
Thank you very much. See you this afternoon.
No exhibits.
Yan Un Chung and Dong Woo Lee, Andy's Food Mart, Inc., trading as Andy's Food Mart, 2556 Madison Avenue. This is a Class D beer and wine license. Request for hardship extension under Article 12-2202. Please come forward.
Good morning. Counsel, you want to identify yourself for the record, please?
Good morning. For the record, Justin Williams from the law firm Rosenberg Martin Greenberg. I'm joined today by Aisha Pugh and B. Cole, who are an interested party.
Would you folks please raise your right hands?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So, Mr. Williams, this was the first occasion I can recall where we had an interested party specifically authorized by the licensee, so I had to check with Mr. Akras to make sure you could do it. But he does give you his imprimatur, so let's proceed.
I appreciate the imprimatur. As I mentioned, representing B. Cole and Aisha Pugh are an interested party. They are the owner and operators of Doubles Market and Grill, LLC. The Class D license at issue was held by Andy's Food Mart, which ceased alcohol beverages operations on July 6th, and the 180-day period was January 2nd. Doubles has a contractual interest in that license, and with the consent of Andy's, they filed a hardship extension request, and there's a letter in the file showing our request. The Class D license at issue is currently held by Andy's at 2556 Madison Avenue. There's a map and aerial photo in your records to show and give you some background. In March 2017, Doubles entered into a contractual agreement with Andy's to purchase the business, liquor license, and real estate. And on June 29th, 2017, the board approved the transfer of the license from Andy's to Doubles. And recognition of woman community support, and there's a petition in your file, there's letters of support from the neighborhood. Everyone loved it. It should be great. Closing on the business and the sale of the business and liquor license was on July 6th, and that's the last day Andy's operated.
Is this the current state of the...
That's the current state of affairs. So, well, to make a long story short, Doubles took possession of the premises around July 6th, and noticed the building was in much disrepair. It needed a lot of work to be done and to be made habitable, including structural brickwork, pest removal, a complete upgrade of electrical and plumbing in the building. And
Do you have an estimated time for completion?
so, because of the work that needed to be completed, they missed the 180-day period under 12-1705 to complete the transfer. And so, for the liquor board's purposes, the license control went back to Andy's Food Mart and not Doubles. And so now Andy's has control for liquor board purposes, and we're kind of applying as an interested party who still has contractual right in the license. And so I don't know if you have an estimate on the next.
9 months, 9 9 to 12 months, but we feel confident about the 9-month window, and part of the trick was just that the building has not, oh, sorry.
You are
I'm Cole, B. Cole.
just letter B.
Just the letter B. Thank you. And so we're looking at 9 to 12 months, and the reason for that is that most of the building has not had any upgrade within the last 25 years, and so we just weren't aware of the full condition. And so we've actually already begun. The photos that you have in front of you are from the first level of the renovation.
So you've contracted with people to do the renovation work?
Yes.
Okay.
For the board's purposes, procedurally, we'll have to come back to apply for new transfer approval if the
Understood.
board grants the hardship extension.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
Just want to make sure you use licensed personnel when necessary and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
permits.
Yes.
So walk me through this, because this is, I want to make sure I fully understand. So the transfer that we approved didn't occur, and so that license then reverts back to the seller.
Correct, and,
previous seller.
and the timing worked out that there's a week of period between the reversion and then Andy's had it, but it was still alive for another week.
And then you filed
The hardship
this.
extension on their behalf with their consent.
So if it's closed now, and the license is not in operation now, and it's going to take 9 to 12 months, how does that position the license being dormant for that period of time?
So if you grant the hardship extension today, we'll have until July, I calculated it, July 1, 2018 to file a transfer application. And assuming we do, that will toll the time, and then if you grant that transfer application, then we'll have another 180-day period to get that license completed.
Perfect, helpful. Thank you very much.
Isn't it raised judicata if you come back? No, I'm kidding.
I'll go get the imprimatur from the
I have
council.
to ask him that question.
I don't think we have enough time for it.
Okay. Commissioners, anything further?
No, no.
Do you have anything further, Mr. Williams? Okay. On the basis then of the letter, the email contained in the file with the request, the other application materials, the proffers from council, and the testimony, I would vote to approve the extension.
I concur.
I concur as well.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'd call exhibits for the record. Applicant Exhibit 1, background exhibit package. Thank you.
Stephen Susser and Susan Wallhandler, Sasha's LTD, trading as Sasha's, 527 Cafe, 527 North Charles Street. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. A request for hardship extension under Article 12-2202. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kanensky, 19 East Fayette Street, representing the owner of the building and the purchaser of the business.
Good morning, Mr. Kanensky. And you're Mr. Souser?
No. He's with the Biabani Group who have purchased, he's the landlord.
Oh, okay.
Name would be helpful.
Borzu Biabani.
Yeah, I didn't hear you. You was too loud in the microphone.
Oh, sorry. Borzu Biabani.
You want to spell it? He was the one
Sure.
to spell it.
The first name is Borzou. Last name is Biabani.
And would you raise your right hand, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Kadensky, Sasha's Limited, or LTD, apparently is a client of my firm. Kimberly Min from my firm has done some work for the entity. Do you have any objection to me?
No objection, because they really sold the business. They're out of there. The Biabani Group bought it. The last day they operated was August the 15th, 2017. They had a prospective purchaser was coming in. I guess you're familiar with Sasha's. It's been here for a long time. And they went through a great deal of trying to get this new party to come in, and the whole deal completely fell apart. So at this point, they need the hardship extension because the place is set up as a restaurant. It's always been a restaurant. And it would be a hardship for not to be able to have the license to sell along with the business.
Your client purchased it and had a deal fell through, and now he needs to find somebody else to
Right,
take it
correct.
over. Okay. Commissioners?
No questions.
No question.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Kadensky?
No, it's
All right. On the basis then of the materials contained in the application, the letter requesting the extension, the proffers from counsel, and testimony, I'd vote to approve the extension.
I concur.
I vote to approve as well.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
No exhibits. No exhibits.
Candace Bruno and John Potts Jr., Ira Godfrey and Associates LLC, no trade name, 900 South Carey Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. An application request for transfer hardship extension under Article 12-1705, small b. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kanensky, 19 East Fast Street, representing the applicants at this point.
Good morning. Are you Ms. Bruno?
Yes.
Would you raise your right hand, please, ma'am?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, this is a transfer that was approved by the board. Ms. Bruno came in and she saw the building had needed a lot of work. Nothing had been done for a long, long time. She met with the people in the community. They were very eager to see somebody new come in there. It's the Pigtown area, so nothing's been done with this place for a long time. She had meetings with the Pigtown people. She's been to community groups. The person who's been doing some work there needs some additional time, so she'll probably need, I don't know, need the whole 90 days, but we'd ask for the 90-day extension, although we feel probably in about sometime in the February, March, we're going to be ready to finish it up.
Okay. And you are a principal of Godfrey and Associates?
Yes.
Okay. And-
She is Candace Bruno.
Yes, I understand. I just.
Mr. Potts is the city resident who's not here.
Is this the only entity that you're involved with, or you have other businesses as well as part of the LLC?
With the,
You just formed this to do this particular
Right.
yes.
operation?
She owns she's one of the very few people that know they're investing, she's buying other properties, but they're not taverns in Baltimore. Is it the part of the United States government you work for?
I do.
Oh, she's with our government,
Is it open today?
United States, right. That's why she's here. They closed down because she could come here until noon.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
None.
I don't have any.
Okay, thank you. On the basis then of the materials contained in the application, the letter requesting the extension, the proffers from council, and testimony, I would vote to approve the extension.
I concur.
I concur as well.
Thank you.
Good luck, ma'am.
No exhibits.
Mr. Page, is that our morning docket?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. The board is in recess until 1 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. Now begins the PM session of the Board of Liquor License Commissioners of Baltimore City. If you're in possession of any type of electronic device, please place said device on the off or silent mode during proceedings. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, preliminary matter on the PM docket, case number 1807-11 Baker Street, a Class BD7, here for violation. That matter has been postponed. All interested parties will be notified as to the new date and time. Number 2 on the PM docket, Kaji Karki Kamani LLC, trading as Howard Discount Liquor, 3 North Howard Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license here for violation of Rule 4.20 CII, Class BD7 licenses, open and operating taverns at all times on October the 26th, 2017, and violation of Rule 4.16 illegal conduct on January the 4th, 2018. Please come forward and raise your right hands.
Counsel?
Good afternoon, Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of Kaji Karki, licensee. It'll be responsible.
Okay, good afternoon. Would all those who might testify raise your right hands, please?
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you said, and these are going to be admissions of these
Yes,
events?
thank
Okay.
you.
So the one occurred on October 26th of last year and the other on January 4 of this year. Has the latter been corrected yet?
Which one? No. I didn't bring anything.
It was this corporate status was forfeited.
Forfeited? I don't know.
Failure to pay personal property tax or something?
We do a lot, so I need to contact the accountant.
Right. He's contacted his accountant. I can't, he's not sure if it's actually been done yet or not, but he has notified his accountant of the deficiency there.
Okay. And with respect to what happened on October 26th?
Thank you very much. With respect to October 26th, this was a Ravens game that evening, and Mr. Karki was the only person there at that time. His wife had left early to tend to the children, and he'd had some experiences in the past during Ravens games where either customers would come in already inebriated, or else they would come in and want to watch the game and wouldn't really want to buy any alcohol. He was very honest with the officers. He explained that he didn't want any trouble that night, and he was watching the Ravens game by himself. Now,
Did they win?
Did we win? I'd say we
It was a bad night.
I think it's the one where the Ravens beat the Dolphins. That's what I think that night was. I could be wrong.
Once when I caught, so I didn't pay attention there.
So your records have the bar with this LLC or this company since 2012, but actually the family has operated this store since 2008 consecutively. There was a corporate change in 2008 on this, or in 2012, but they've been at the same location since 2008 and had no violations whatsoever in those 10 years. He was the victim of a robbery, an armed robbery, on September 1st in the establishment. And unfortunately, he was a little nervous about his safety on that night. He's right across the street from the Baltimore Arena, and there's not a lot of foot traffic after dark there. Unfortunately, someone was shot in front of the liquor store recently. This was in January.
Couple days ago.
Just a
before,
few
yeah.
days ago.
That's why
And he's got had a trail of blood in the bar. It's a matter of, he understands that he needed to be open that night. You got to shut the whole place down, or you just can't pick one or the other. You got to shut the whole thing down if you're not feeling it that night for whatever reason. He understands that. Having been in this business for over a decade with no violations, he certainly understands, and he can't really offer you many excuses beyond the fact that he will make sure that both sides of the bar are open, if he's open at all.
So, do we know whether he was cooperative with the detective?
He was, when we went inside, he was very cooperative and admitted guilt immediately. His statement to me was, I had a long day, I just wanted to watch the game by myself, is what he said. So he, didn't say that the undercover scared him, that he thought the undercover was gonna rob him, none of that. He said, I did refuse service, I just wanted to sit in the back and watch the game.
Okay. Anything further?
No, just that Mr. Karki is he's active downtown on that block, picking up trash, keeping things safe. He's a good neighbor. He's also owned a restaurant just next door to that never had any problems. And this is an aberration in his 10 years on that block.
Okay. The commissioners have questions?
Do not.
None.
Okay. We frequently hear when we have these types of issues that the individual has been intimidated by customers or has had criminal activity in the area, and it's understandable, but unfortunately it's not an excuse.
I know.
So we have to enforce the law as it is, and when you obtain one of these licenses, you take the responsibility to keep both open at all times. So it's your first offense. I would find a violation of Rule 4.20 CII on October 26, 2017 as a result of your admission and the other proffers and testimony taken today. And I would find a violation of Rule 4.16 on January 4, 2018 on the basis of your admission. I understand as to the latter that you're attempting to remedy it, and you're going to have to do that. As to the former, I would impose a fine of $300 and give you 30 days to pay it. And as to the second violation, I'd impose a fine of $100 and give you 30 days to pay it.
I concur.
I concur with the finding of the violation and the fine imposed.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
I call the exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department Report, Detective Gatto. Board Exhibit 2, Investigation Report, Inspector John Chrisomalis, Board Exhibit 3, SSTAT report. Thank you.
John, make sure you introduce yourself. Okay, I apologize. John, nice to meet you.
Chung Kai Lee, Amy McGee, Millionaire Inc., trading as Young's Place, 2200 East Fayette Street. This is a Class BD7 Beer, Wine, and Liquor License, here for violation of Rule 4.20C II, Class BD7 licenses, open and operating taverns at all times on October the 26th, 2017. Please come forward.
May I ask everyone who's going to testify to raise your right hand, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Okay. Are you Mr. Lee, sir?
Yes, sir.
And are you Ms. McGee?
No, my wife, the Sun Tak.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, Mr. McGee, you are charged with a violation of our rules for not keeping the tavern portion of your establishment open on October 26, 2017. Do you wish to admit or deny that?
Anyway, my wife was an operation. I'm guilty. My wife was just operation. Me and my wife, the two person. They take care of the parents on the grand morning on the drove away. They did watch operation on my wife
You
herself.
have to slow down for me a minute. Okay, so let's go back to what I just asked you. Let me put it in simple terms. Did this actually happen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So, and then these gentlemen came in and talked to you and told you that it was not
Yeah.
not allowed. Is that correct?
My pronounce is terrible. I just statement is better. I think.
You have something written?
Yeah.
Let me look at it, okay?
How do you spell it?
That's right, that's right.
How do you spell your first name?
SOONHWA. Last name is
I couldn't hear you on the microphone.
You have to speak into this, ma'am, please.
okay.
S-O-N-A.
It's okay. There's only three of us that matter for purposes of this.
SOONHWA. Last name TARK. T is Tom as T.
Okay.
Okay, and ma'am, so is it all right with you if I read this statement into the record? May I read this?
Yes, sure.
Yes, okay. So it says, stated January 23, 2018, dear sir/madam, I swear our bar is always open. I have been robbed several times, one time at gunpoint. On that day, the gentleman said, "God damn," and asked me for a loose one. Before he left, he asked bar open. Because of his profanity, I was very scared that he would rob me if I let him in the bar. That is why I told him the bar was not open. I apologize for lying. I just wanted to protect my life. I always follow rules and laws to the best of my knowledge. Please give me a chance. Attachment, picture, and video, but I guess that there is not that. So I understand what you're telling us. So are you saying that it was on October 26th when the detective came in that he said this to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Seems unlikely to me, but let me hear from him.
Let's see this. Let's see and hear this tape.
Did you bring a videotape?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sure.
Does it have audio?
Yeah, video and audio.
It has audio.
Yeah, yeah, audio. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
We have a CCTV on the system. 아까부터 턴오프 해달잖아. 왜안 켜져? 기다려야 돼.
Detective, were you the one who went in?
Yes, sir. Myself and Agent Chrisomalis, we went in and advised, and I believe Detective Green, or no?
But it said, my paper says Detective Akawande is the one who entered the estate.
Oh, excuse me. acting in undercover capacity.
Yes.
But I did also go in because I'm part of the response team.
Okay, but
Yes, and Detective Akwande is here.
but he's the one who asked to be served, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay, pass it up here, please. You can make that work better than I can. See what we can see, if anything.
Volume is not on.
Volume?
반대쪽이잖아, 반대. Other side.
Who's that?
We're looking at approximately 2120 hours, so 920.
Let's just verify. Can we start it again? Can we show the detective, see if he acknowledges that that's him?
You just rewind it.
Is that you, detective? Okay. Okay, you can turn it off, actually, if you... So, ma'am, what you're saying is that you were intimidated and you were frightened, and so you said it was closed, but it was not really closed, is what you're saying?
Excuse me.
That the bar was not closed, but you
Not
said it was closed.
Not close. I'm sorry. I'm always open bar, and she is ask, and then she is bad language, and she is ask me lose one, and his people left. I bar open. I'm very scared. He act like is robber. That's why I is now open, because I'm protect my life.
But I understand your fear, but as I said to the last people who were here, when you accept this type of license, you have to maintain both open for customers, and if you're frightened, you're going to have to find someone else to run this establishment so that somebody who can handle those responsibilities. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because what happened here is a violation of our rules. You can't tell someone, you can't send them away. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you went in to speak, did you have any difficulties?
She argued with us. Can I put it on the record, though? I mean, if I'm allowed to, that there was no utterance of "I'm going to rob you" in that.
I didn't hear that.
Right, in that brief
No.
recording. It's obvious that was our undercover, but there was no mention "I'm going to rob you" because you're not letting me in the back. That's pretty serious.
I'm not sure I heard. She said she was afraid of it, but,
Right,
but she
right.
didn't say that anyone had said it.
Right. Well, but prior to that was what was said. It said that "I'm going to rob you," and okay.
I take the woman at her word that she was intimidated, but on the other hand, she's not allowed to be.
Yes, yes, Chairman. And when we went in, she pleaded with us not to violate her for what she knew had occurred. We showed her the documents that we needed to record for this violation. We explained it to her over and over again. Once we left the location, she came out to our car, continued hitting on our window, wanting to talk it over. And we basically just explained to her, said, ma'am, you will get a notification from the Liquor Board of Baltimore City, and we will have a hearing. That was the extent of it.
I understand. So she was excitable.
Very.
Okay. Is there anything further you would like to say?
Please give me a chance, please.
Okay. Commissioners?
No, I didn't hear any threatening words. In fact, I thought I heard a word of politeness. I thought I heard thank you or please, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't see where the threat came from.
Yeah, I would agree. I didn't see any of the language that's in your statement. That's all.
Okay. So just so you understand, we've heard testimony, we've observed the videotape, we've read your statement into the record, we've heard the officers and inspectors talk about what happened that evening. And on the basis of all of that, I'm going to find that there was a violation of Rule 4.20C II, not having the tavern open on October 26, 2017. Our records indicate that you had one prior violation in 2008 for a sale to minor. So as a fine, I would impose a penalty of $500, and I would give you 30 days to pay it.
I concur.
I concur as well. I'd encourage you as well to, we have Inspector Steve Hahn. If there are any questions, I'd encourage you to reach out to, or we'll have our staff make sure that you understand the rules and regulations so that this doesn't come up again.
Okay? Thank you.
Here you go, sir. License exhibits for the record. Licensee Exhibit 1, written statement. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Gatto. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Inspector John Christomalis. Thank you.
Could you explain to them what the term explained? Thank you.
He's going to speak to them in Spanish.
Stephanie Morel and Subject Singh Badwal LLC, trading as Lombard Liquor and Bar, 1000 West Lombard Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license here for violation of Rule 4.20C II, Class BD7 licenses, open and operating tavern at all times on November the 11th, 2017. Please come forward.
On the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 19 East Fayette Street, representing the licensee. This will be a denial. Take testimony.
Okay, good afternoon. Can I ask everyone to raise their right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, who's going to testify for the board?
I can testify for the board.
Okay.
Agent John Christomalis, Baltimore City Liquor Board. On Saturday, November 11, 2017, the Social Task Force conducted inspections at various establishments. The participants of the task force were Baltimore City Vice Unit, Baltimore City Fire Department, Baltimore Housing Enforcement, and Baltimore City Liquor Board, Agent Christomalis and Chief Fosler. During the inspections, the Fire Department issued a violation for not possessing a fire permit. Agent Christomalis and Chief Fosler observed that the tavern area of the establishment appeared not to be operating. Trash was piled in the public area of the establishment behind the bar. The 3-compartment sink was not in use and contained trash. During the time we were inside the establishment, packaged good sales continued. Based on our observation, we issued violations for not operating as a BD7. The Liquor Board staff explained the violation to the manager. After completing the inspection, the Social Task Force departed without any further incident.
Questions, Mr. Kadensky?
All right. How many people went in there?
How many people were on the task force? That it's I can't recall exactly. It's typically 2 from each agency, so I would say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 individuals.
All came into this place?
Correct.
And around 12 o'clock at night?
Correct.
Okay. How many other people were in the place?
A couple people working behind the counter.
One person behind the counter or just eight?
I don't remember exactly.
Okay. And you had access to the entire place from the front to the back, is that correct?
Correct.
So it wasn't like, there was no reason why you couldn't get into the bar area. You were in the bar area, correct?
We were in the bar area.
Okay. And then you say here that it appeared not to be operating. You didn't order anything, did you?
We did not.
You didn't ask whether it was open or not.
We did ask if it was open. Of course, they said that it was.
Okay. Why is that not in the report?
Because I didn't feel that, because I haven't found one BD7 to tell me no, we're not open.
You never find people saying they're never open.
Everyone's always open if you ask them.
What happened to the case before when they said they weren't open?
That was with the undercover, got refused service. When we go into a bar for a regular inspection and we ask, is your bar open? Not one person in 4 years has told me no.
But you didn't put that in there, saying that they weren't open. You
Okay.
said yes. Hold on.
Okay, well, we determined that the BD7 was closed because there was trash, debris
just
throughout the whole bar, cable boxes on the
That's not my
bar.
question.
Well, you asked me,
No, I said you didn't have that in. Wait a minute, you can't have people talking in your ear.
Wait, let's do this one at a time.
Right.
Okay, so
I asked you,
the
it's
question-
not in
I
your
think-
report.
I think he answered that he did not put it
No,
in the
no.
report.
Number two, is it typical that you do inspections at 12 o'clock at night?
yes.
All right.
As per the mayor of Baltimore, we go out with the social task force every Friday, starting at 8 p.m., every Friday, 52 Fridays in the year.
Number two, you did not order anything.
I did not.
You were in the bar area,
That's correct.
all right? And you say trash was in the public area. You're saying trash was behind the bar, is that correct?
That's not correct. Trash was in the area where the patrons should be sitting. Trash was on the bar stools, old cable boxes. Trash was on the floor where you would get to the restrooms. Trash was everywhere in the back.
But you didn't try to sit at the bar area and get a drink?
I couldn't because there was cable boxes sitting there.
All right, but you didn't try, that's the question, and you didn't ask for a drink?
I did not.
Okay. And there was the same person there that was operating the front, could operate also the bar area, is that correct?
He could.
All right, well, I mean, he was the only person there, is that correct?
So I don't remember exactly how many employees were present.
I have no further questions.
Okay, did you want to present evidence?
Is that the sum and substance of the case?
I believe, isn't it?
Okay.
Do you have anything to add?
The two-compartment sink was also not properly,
I think it's in
The
there.
3-compartment sink, which if customers ordered drinks and you would typically wash the glassware, was covered with trash. Trash was inside, broken up beer bottle cases, things like that. It was used for a trash bin.
Now, you assume it's used for trash. And when was the last time you were in there that was ever used for anything else?
The only time I remember being in there was on this November 11th,
Okay.
and it was being used for a trash bin.
And in the meantime, if somebody wanted a drink, they could still get a drink, even though the sink wasn't operational, is that correct?
I can't answer that. I don't know where they would wash though.
Well, but you wouldn't, if somebody gave you a plastic cup, you don't have to wash.
That's correct.
Okay, so you can get a drink in the place without
Sure.
having glass, correct? Nobody asked for a drink, correct?
We did not ask for a drink.
They told you the bar was open.
They did tell us the bar
Been
was
down this road, you gonna go down this road?
I'm adding the thing cumulatively, you know.
It's argument. You don't have to ask the
And
same
lastly,
questions.
there was no problem getting into any of the areas of the place.
Well, typically,
Bar,
that's,
packaged goods.
that's
restaurant.
correct. We could go in.
Do you wish to present evidence?
I want to make a motion, first of all. I mean, I want me to read for you. I'm sure I don't want to bore you with this, but I mean, some of the public might be interested. The portion of it says the holder of a Class BD7 shall permit grant access to patrons for a fully operational tavern portion. A, they were granted access to it whenever the packaged good area is open. So you're charging with violating that, and that's not what happened. They did get in there. A fully operating tavern shall a counter. They had a counter. They had the stools, and so forth. I don't know where the violation is here. It wasn't they said it was not operating.
But, Mr. Kadensky, you've been practicing law for a long time. They don't have direct evidence. They are proceeding on circumstantial evidence, and there are inferences that are reasonable that could be drawn from the evidence. You know that.
But, Mr. Chairman, it would seem to me that if you came in, you want to know if the bar is operational, how about give me a Bud Light?
I understand. Yeah, they could have done that.
They didn't do it.
I've said it.
They
I
asked, "Is it
understand that.
open?" They didn't order anything, and then that was the end of it. So my motion is they didn't violate that rule because it doesn't meet any of the criteria there.
I understand your motion. I'm going to deny it. Do you wish to put on evidence?
State your name and address to the record, please.
Sarbjeet Singh, 1000 West Lombard Street.
And you're the licensee there, is that correct?
Yes,
And on this place, the bar is open the same time the package goods is open, is that correct?
correct.
And in the case here, this happened at 12, and your husband was there till what, 11:30?
11, yep.
And he left. The other
Is
gentleman.
she going to testify or you?
Well, I'm going to ask the question.
Okay.
I mean, it's no different when they do it.
I know, but they're not lawyers.
No, but I'm saying, Judge, you can't have people whispering in somebody's ear, nobody
I understand,
stops.
and I stopped it.
Okay, all right. And along with that, is there a time that you generally close the establishment?
Typically 12:30.
All right, and then this trash issue, can you explain that to the board?
So I did have only one employee there. My husband was there till 11:30 that night. It was getting a little bit slower, so he said, okay, I'll go home, you finish cleaning up and close the store. So what he did was he brought all the boxes out in preparation of closing the store. And then he went ahead and put them in there, so that way when he gets ready to shut down, he doesn't have to constantly go down the steps and come back up. He can just take it out there. I did explain to him that that is not something that you would do.
What time do you close?
12:30. So from that, that's what happened. So he's bringing all the trash out, getting ready to close, and then everybody comes in. There is definitely a little bit of a language barrier, so he comes in, he sees all these people coming in. He did call me that night. He said, there's a lot of people here. I'm not sure what's going on. He said, they asked me 4 times, is the bar open? He said, yes, the bar is open. And if they wanted to order a drink, he was immediately going to remove all those boxes out and make sure that they were comfortable sitting in there.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If I came into your establishment and all the seats at the bar were covered with boxes and the sink was full of trash, do you think it would be reasonable for me to assume that it wasn't an operational bar?
I wouldn't think so.
So you can understand why they thought that?
Yes.
Okay. But you're telling me that it's not normally like that?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely. Because I've been very strict with all my employees. I have 2 employees that this is what the license is about. I have pictures. I can even do a live view right now, and my bar is completely clean. We maintain it. We constantly make sure the bathrooms are clean. That 3-compartment sink is completely empty. If we do, after a while, drain it out, because if the bar is slow, then we went ahead and utilized the plastic cups, which is just a little bit more efficient.
Do the commissioners have questions?
I do.
The 3-compartment sink,
Yes, sir.
when you bring trash up, do you normally put your trash in the
No,
3-compartment sink?
absolutely not, sir. No.
Why was it there this time?
I'm not sure what was going on with that, because when my husband left at 11:30, there was no trash. That was completely clear. So I'm not sure if in the midst of he was trying to clean up or what happened. And unfortunately, he's supposed to be here today, but his 3-year-old daughter is admitted to the hospital, and I can't force him to come and testify today. But he did say, I'm not sure what happened, why sometimes what happens though is if they're stocking and a beer bottle breaks or a beer, and the beer will open, they'll quickly run straight over to the sink so it can drain in there.
So what kind of trash was in the sink?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out myself what kind of trash is in the sink.
All right, thank you.
So I want to make sure I understand your testimony. Are you saying that you believe on that evening or late that evening, November 11th, that bar was fully operational?
Yes, sir.
So your testimony is that it is?
Yes, my bar is
Fully
up.
operating tavern. Okay.
Correct.
So then my next question is, do you have any, I don't know, and it's okay if you don't have any, patrons that came in, but do you, in and around that time, but do you have any receipts or anything that suggests from the tavern that it was open and operating around this time?
Unfortunately, I don't have a separate receipt. I don't do separate. All of the money goes into the same register. So I don't have a receipt that I can say.
That says that this was served
Yeah.
at the tavern versus the packaged goods? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Anything further?
Just in close, if you read the rule, I didn't make the rule.
You make a good argument, Mr. Cadet.
And the question that the commissioner had there, if they were all together. Now, if they didn't have 1 or 2 employees, when I'm saying 9 people walk in, it's beyond me why this exists. And the mayor has got enough problems in this city about sending 9 people into a little bar and causing this kind of commotion. Is it open? Yes, it's open. Yes, nobody asks for a drink. Why don't you just ask for a drink? Where am I gonna sit? Where am I gonna sit? Oh, here, let's sit down here, have a Bud Light or whatever. They don't do that. All you're insisting on doing is violating the licensee. And it's wrong to do this. It's wrong when you read the section of the prohibition of thing. If they had a separate section, you've seen many of these things where you can't get into the other area. You gotta buzz them in. No, they walk right on through.
But Mr. Kadensky, if I could, Mr. Chairman, it's not just about a tavern being open and operating, but the language says a fully operating tavern portion. And I think the issue from my understanding is you have boxes and you have a compartment with trash in it, which tells me that it's not, it suggests that it's not fully operating.
Well, unless you ordered a drink, you would never know, would you? If you said to yourself, give me a bottle of Bud, they would have gave you a bottle of Bud. That's being operational.
Fair enough.
If nobody buys anything, then it can't be operational. Come in there at 4 o'clock in the morning, they're closed. It's not operational because you can't buy anything. What I'm saying is, in this case here, it's different from the normal cases that you've seen in the past. And, and I've told all my clients from now on, I want them all to get audio and video, and when people come in, make sure it goes that way, because they go to the same places over and over and over again. They don't go to other places. And, that's my beef.
Do you
That's
think
a
the
different
licensee
argument.
should learn something from that?
So
Licensees should learn to get together and lobby and come down there and change all the rules, in the state legislature. And they're doing it now. There's a couple of them going in this time.
May I say just one last thing? I think this whole thing is very circumstantial. My employee was in the process of cleaning up. This is what happened. I have sat down, and my husband and I have both sat down and had a big discussion that when he gets ready to take the trash out, he cannot store anything in there. We've gone through multiple just conversations about making sure that bar area stays maintained and clean. So I think that's what mostly happened, was that he was beginning to ready to clean up. As he's cleaning up, he's probably not thinking, and then the task force comes in, and now he's even more upset or nervous about what's going on. That's.
I hear you. Anything further? No. Okay. So it is not the normal case. You make some good points. It was very late and close to closing. There were a lot of people. And perhaps he was cleaning up. I believe that there was sufficient circumstantial evidence for us to find a violation of Rule 4.20C2 on November 11, 2017. But in mitigation, I would take into account lots of what you have told us. Unfortunately, you have 2 prior violations within the last year. So as lenient as I'm inclined to be, I don't think I can be entirely lenient about that. So I would impose a fine of $300 and give you 30 days to pay it.
Happy New Year, by the way. I forgot to say that. Sorry.
It would have been less if you had not had those violations, ma'am.
I'm saying guilty because if you were applying for a tavern at that location and you didn't have your 3-compartment sink, the permit would not have been issued. So that's an important part of the operation. So it wasn't totally operational. I don't care much about how many folks goes in there because it's a business. And if you had nine customers coming in, it would have been fine. So when 9 individuals come in other than the customer, and they're with a legal organization that governs what you do at their location, that should be fine also, because I would think that if I'm not doing anything wrong, let them come and look. That's what you pay your taxes for them to be there to investigate and see to it that folks are doing the right things at these locations. So, and you do have some other charges, a 401, sale to minors, alteration. I mean, this is a history, and it's a clear history that some things have been done in the short time you have owned that establishment from 2016. I believe that you need to get your act together, and you need to have a heart-to-heart with those individuals who you hire, whether it be your husband or someone else that you may hire. that $300 fine is a little light for me, but I'm going to go along with it this time. But if I'm sitting here and you come back here again, don't expect the same.
So I too find the violation, will concur with the imposition of the $300 fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Baltimore City Police Department report, Detective Gatto. Board Exhibit 2, investigation report, Detective or Agent John Chris Malice. Thank you.
I believe that concludes today's docket, Mr. Page.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. The board is in recess until Thursday, February the 1st, 2018, 11 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.